Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Psychology Eats. So, what's eating you? Well, today I am doing another case study, another diagnosis assessment, and you can see from the title, this one is on Tommy Williams, who is the younger brother of Wendy Williams. So about a month or two ago, I think it was about a month, Tommy started a YouTube channel. And the YouTube channel started out pretty basic. Tommy just kind of talking about his life and what direction he wanted to go in with his channel. He is into health and fitness, and so I guess that was what the intended direction was for his channel. And Wendy Williams, we all know who she is. She's a superstar. She's a mogul. She's, the queen of gossip. We all know who Wendy is. Okay, so Wendy wasn't going to be a part, from what we could see, she wasn't going to be a part of his channel. So he was kind of doing his own thing, going live and, stuff like that. And so it was, he was doing his own thing. Okay, so then he uploaded his very first video. And in his first video, I had some concerns about his demeanor in the first video. He was at that time suffering from COVID, but he was driving his car. And he was driving it kind of aggressively and kind of like this, like mad. He was like mad driving, but I didn't see or hear like any triggers to why he was kind of like aggressive when he was driving. So during that video, he thought that it was just a random person walking, and he thought that person was staring at him, and then he made a point of like driving near the person and saying I had COVID, and that, like, it didn't make sense. And at that very moment is when I'm like, oh boy, this is not going to be good. Well, we go through. He had several more lives. His lives were pretty not sporadic, but he would go live a lot and kind of just talk about random things, kind of like different topics, just kind of all over the place. Nothing solid, nothing like this is what we're going to talk about tonight. It was like all over the place. And then we get to the point where their mom dies, and so he talks a little bit about that. He contradicts some things that Wendy said on her channel, and a lot of people in his comments were like, Tommy, like, chill out. Like, stop talking about your sister, because there are a lot of bloggers in here, and people are going to run with any information that you give, which they did. But that didn't stop him from still, like, talking about Wendy a little bit too much, personal stuff. Then we get to the funeral, and he claims that Wendy wasn't at the funeral. What I believe happened, based on what Wendy said in her show, was that she went to the wake. At the wake, Tommy got into a heated argument with someone, and there was a fist fight at the actual wake, or the viewing of the mom's body prior to the funeral. Now, Tommy never addressed that. I believe that probably happened. Because remember, in that first video, I had already kind of peeped out his anger issues. And then another incident was he was live at his dad's house, and Wendy was coming that night, and dad asked him to go to another room, and he kind of got like upset about it, but he pulled back. But I could tell that if anything, I could tell that he could be triggered into anger. And so with that being said, and then I'm going to talk a little bit more about why I'm giving Tommy this diagnosis. Mind you, I've never met Tommy. I've never given him a psychological or psychiatric evaluation. This is my opinion based on what I've seen in the videos and for what Wendy has said, I believe that Tommy has adult ADHD. Yes, that is something, that is a diagnosis. That he was probably diagnosed earlier in life. That we see the hyperactivity in some of his behaviors. I also believe that he has ODD, which is oppositional defiant disorder, which oftentimes we got diagnosed children with this disorder, but I see this in him. Oppositional and defiant to what he like. If you tell him, don't, Tommy, don't do that, he's going to do it anyway. And he's aggressive also. Wendy has asked him to stop making videos talking about her. And since she made that announcement, he's done 2 videos talking about her. So there's that oppositional behavior. I don't believe my diagnosis is going to be anything new to Tommy. I believe he's heard this before. Maybe he's even heard bipolar, because usually what we do when a child has ADHD and ODD, as they become older, those diagnoses kind of transforms into bipolar behavior, or it's labeled bipolar disorder. But I'm going to take it back to a pretty much like a childhood disorder for him, because that's kind of the vibe that I'm getting from him, is that it's very much ADHD and ODD with a little bit of IED in there, like intermittent explosive disorder, because I believe he can explode, and he's probably exploded many times, and which is why Wendy is like defensive and just like, I don't want anything to do with you. I believe they have a long history of possible, even if it's verbal aggression period. So Tommy Cats, don't come at me. I know that's what he calls his followers, but that is the diagnosis I'm giving you, Tommy. And I'm sure you have heard some of this before. I believe you need to get back in treatment, if you were ever in treatment, but I believe you need treatment. I think you need to go and be able to talk to a professional psychotherapist like myself, or clinician, psychologist. I think that is where you need to deal with your demons, deal with, the passing of your mother, the grief issues, whatever's going on with you. Do it in the comfort and confidentiality space of a therapist. YouTube is not the place to do this. YouTube is not the place to have an emotional breakdown, and it's not the place to vent family arguments, especially when you have a sister who is as famous as Wendy. So that is my overall diagnosis for Tommy. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and make a comment, and share this video with anyone that you think needs to have a diagnosis. Thank you.